Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Dowd here, capping off another week of tech tidbits for your water cooler chit-chat. And speaking of water cooler chit-chat, wouldn't it be awesome if you could chat with your friends and coworkers about the hilarious stuff that Adam said on the Digit Daily before engaging in a thoughtful conversation about Elon Musk? You bet it would be, and there are two things you can do to make that happen. First, leave us a review in iTunes, Stitcher, or anywhere else that you can leave a review. Seriously, it helps tremendously. I can't even say how much it helps because it's huge, especially for a growing podcast like this one. Second, tell your friends, family, coworkers, friendly-looking strangers on the street, and even your barista about digitdailypod.com. It's the best way to find me, this podcast, and the source for all your happiness on a given day. Okay, that might be overstating it a little bit, but you get the idea. Anyway, speaking of your happiness for the day, it is September 6th, 2019, and this is yours and everyone else's Digit Daily. Facebook wants your love. No longer content with your friends, family, and photos, now Facebook has launched Facebook Dating, and I'm confused. Isn't that what Facebook was for in the first place? Live and learn, I guess. Anyway, Facebook launched a new and mostly separate dating app called Facebook Dating, and geez, Facebook, you think you could be a little bit more creative on the name there, huh, buddy? Facebook Dating, I mean, how generic. What do you mean? The podcast is called the Digit Daily because it's a daily podcast from Digit. Oh. Yeah, so never mind. Facebook released Facebook Dating as a separate app, but it's going to be closely tied in with Facebook and Instagram, even going so far as to suggest information and photos to include in your Facebook Dating profile. Facebook is quick to point out that you can edit or remove this information if you want. Facebook also insists that all the information gathered in Facebook Dating will stay in Facebook Dating and not get shared to the rest of the company for things like advertising. Yeah, I'm going to need to see the terms of service on that one because that sounds like a big pile of horse doo-doo to me. Anyway, there's also a secret crush feature which allows you to add certain people to your crush list. If someone else adds you to their crush list, well, let the hookups, let the magic begin. Instagram stories will make it into Facebook Dating at some point this year as well. Facebook Dating is coming to a good portion of North and South America along with some Eastern nations. You can check out the full list on today's newsletter at digit.com. It's also coming to Europe in 2020. So, what do we think about this? I mean, it's a free dating app, so that's pretty sweet. I suspect married men will probably be a big customer, like most dating apps, because men are slimeballs. Plus, having Facebook data tying into your dating profile will make finding potential matches a lot easier and more authentic. When you think about it, while the data in Facebook Dating is separate from Facebook, they're going to influence each other quite a bit. So being a fake person to the dating world and a real person to your friends and family might be a harder balance to maintain rather than just creating a totally fake profile on Match.com. Overall, I think I'm just grateful that I never have to worry about it. I'm married to the best part of me. Aw, I know, but seriously, my wife listens to the podcast. Now, hopefully you can find the best part of you thanks to Facebook. And no, that sentence has literally never been said before. Facebook, it's not just for racist uncles anymore. But now, it's time for the Roundup! First of all, our newsletter has an awesome roundup of all the new mobile tech that we're seeing at IFA. The Huawei P30 Pro, the Sony Xperia 5, the Motorola One Zoom, the TCL Plex, and there's so much more. I could do a roundup of just the phones at IFA, but instead, I'm going to do an Android Authority podcast about them. And I will upload that podcast to this feed as well, so if you want to hear about all those devices, stay tuned. It wouldn't be hyperbole to say that the Dell XPS line of laptops is one of the best you could buy. Okay, it's a little hyperbole, but I love my Dell XPS laptop. It has a great look and feel, and the keyboard is amazing. And if you don't think a keyboard can be amazing, then you have never typed on a Dell XPS laptop. I'm just saying. Anyway, Dell refreshed the line with a new crop of 13-inch laptops starting at $999 and going all the way up to just a hair over $2,000. Check out the link in the show notes, especially if you're in the market for a new laptop. Everyone knows Google Assistant is getting a new Ambient Mode, which displays key information on your tablets and smartphones when docked, aka plugged in. Basically, it turns them into a smart display like a Google Nest Hub. This would use Google Photos to display a slideshow of photos, and also allow you to see what the weather is, control your smart home devices with an always-on display. The downside is, Ambient Mode is rolling out first to a couple of random devices from Lenovo and Nokia first, and then other devices later, which is weird. Not even Pixel phones get this first. I mean, I won't judge, you do you, Google. But it just seems odd. OnePlus CEO Pete Lau showed off a photo of the OnePlus TV Remote today for some reason. This remote looks very similar to an Apple TV Remote, which is widely considered to be one of the worst TV remotes in history, which is fascinating to me because I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I didn't know there was a ruling body of remote controls of America that analyzes this stuff. Do you know how bad something has to be considered the worst in history when they don't even measure stuff like that in your category? Well, anyway, OnePlus announced the remote, and now they just have to announce the actual TV. Anytime now, OnePlus. We've talked before about Amazon's Ring doorbells and how Ring was snuggling up to the police departments. The Neighbors app can help report suspicious people, and police can request that footage without a warrant, which is nice, except it's actually really terrible. Now Ring is talking about pairing up facial recognition technology along with that footage, which is terrible times millennium, which I know is not a math thing, but let's face it, neither should this be a thing. Now the Senate is stepping in and saying, hold on there, you want to do what? Specifically, Senator Edward Markey wrote that such a system, quote, could easily create a surveillance network that places dangerous burdens on people of color and feed racial anxieties in local communities. Could easily create? Try will easily create, Senator. Plus, facial recognition software is terrible at recognizing people of color, and in one case misidentified 26 California lawmakers as criminals. Okay, well, let's be honest here. There's a better than average chance that they're all criminals anyway. I mean, they're lawmakers, which is basically a synonym. This is a rare case where I'm in lockstep with the government. Adding facial recognition to this is a terrible idea that will bring nothing good to anyone. Just stop it, Amazon. And finally, Reddit, being the jewel that it is, started with a fairly simple question which led to a wonderful discovery. The question, does a fly have no short-term memory, or are they just fearless in their pursuit for my barbecue sandwich? The general answer is that flies are instinctive beasts which smell food, fly to food, sense danger, flee danger, rinse, and repeat. But this led to one of the greatest responses that I've read on Reddit, and I shall do a dramatic reading for you. The famous herring sandwich experiments conducted a millennia ago demonstrated that anything that thinks logically can be fooled by something else which thinks at least as logically as it does. The easiest way to fool a completely logical robot is to feed it the same stimulus sequence over and over again so it gets locked in a loop. A robot was programmed to believe that it liked herring sandwiches. This was actually the most difficult part of the whole experiment. Once the robot had been programmed to believe that it liked herring sandwiches, a herring sandwich was placed in front of it, whereupon the robot thought to itself, a herring sandwich! I like herring sandwiches. It would then bend over and scoop up the herring sandwich in its herring sandwich scoop, and then straighten up again. Unfortunately for the robot, it was fashioned in such a way that the action of straightening up caused the herring sandwich to slip back off its herring sandwich scoop and fall onto the floor in front of the robot, whereupon the robot thought to itself, a herring sandwich, etc., and repeated the same action over and over and over again. The only thing that prevented the herring sandwich from getting bored with the whole damn business and crawling off in search of other ways of passing the time was that the herring sandwich, being just a bit of dead fish between a couple of slices of bread, was marginally less alert as to what was going on as was the robot. And of course, I read that to you in an English accent, a bad English accent admittedly, because this was written by the great Douglas Adams. May he rest in peace. So that's going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Dowd, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again on Monday.